We survived, ladies and gentlemen.
It's game week.
We have survived.
Yes.
We made it to week 1. The Flames are back in action at Williams. I was wondering if he had
That's what they call
back to
the
football
cabbage
dance.
patch. That's a cabbage patch right now. It's old school.
Okay, we're, already
Off
off
to
the
a hot
right.
start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Back in action this Saturday, hosting Bowling Green. Everyone that is watching, send it to everyone. Everyone needs to fill up Williams Stadium.
Yeah.
We have the man himself, Jamey Chadwell, on the press
right.
conference.
That is correct.
And
On the press conference, on the podcast.
I'm sorry, on the pod.
That's
It
right.
is the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Thank you, Joe, for
the
arriving.
band is back
We're
together.
back.
Thank you so much for making time to come on this week.
Kid is back.
As promised, the 4th annual Flames Fantasy Draft, looking to go back-to-back as the
No way.
champion
Yeah, right.
this
The kid's
season.
here.
We'll also take you to all of the updates coming from Joe Yock's
And a
cell
great
phone
mailbag.
around the campus.
Elite mailbag.
Elite
this week.
mailbag. And I'll also tell you who's perfect on the mountain. Newsflash, it's not Joe Yock. All right, but
That's a given.
What is she getting at?
someone's
no
perfect
idea.
on the
Okay.
mountain. A few things
Okay.
are perfect on the mountain.
Okay.
We have a lot to discuss on this week's podcast. Let's first talk about what we're most excited to see, whether it's a player, position group, or just getting back into action for Flames football,
What are you
guys.
most excited about, Joe? Saturday.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna say I'm most excited to see how this defense plays.
Okay.
Because really the last couple of years, the defense that Liberty put on the field was everybody gave the hype to Hugh Freeze and his offense, but the defenses that Liberty put on the field is what won them a lot of football games. I want to see if that same defense carries over into the Jamey Chadwell era.
No, that's great. For me, I want to see this running back group. We've heard so much about the Vaughn Blues, the Quentin Coolies, all these guys. I want to see them in action.
Cool Hand Lucas.
Billy Coolhand Lucas. And I want to see how this offense looks.
Yeah.
Because we've heard so much. We've even heard Liberty defensive coaches say, we're tired of seeing this. We want to see a normal offense.
Yeah.
So I want to see what this looks like, our first taste of this Jamey Chadwell, Willie Corn offense. I want to see it on Saturday.
I am most excited to see who is going to be under center for the Flames because we don't think that Jamie's going to announce it. Maybe he will.
Come on, break the news.
I don't
Just
know.
break the news
But
on the
I'm
Flame
most
Central
excited to
podcast.
see who is going to lead this offense. Also, weather mostly sunny, high of 82,
Beautiful.
low
She's
of
a big
56 on
Beautiful.
Saturday.
Yeah, she's
Perfect
big
weather
weather
for some
girl.
Yeah.
football. So most excited to see that. We have a lot to get to, right, on this podcast. CUSA week 0. We'll go over some of those games as well.
We can follow other games in a conference now.
I know.
How great is this?
It is really exciting. But first, let's get straight to this.
Hold on. Before we do that, since you're in the intro, I'd like to present my summer travels around the nation.
Yeah.
I've gone to Indiana and brought home a T-shirt from Matt Warner.
You did.
I now went to Muscatine, Iowa. Muscatine, Iowa. And Matt, I just got this for you, buddy. And
That is incredible.
that is incredible. And remember, Matt, what does it say?
Waffles are just pancakes with abs. That is beautiful. I will wear that.
That's for you,
No
That
buddy.
is
one
unbelievable.
cares about me.
That is
Why
fantastic.
didn't you give me one, Joe?
I love
like,
you,
seriously,
Emily.
this
I
is
love you.
just.
I got you a Flame Central
That's
podcast.
I'm wearing this
Oh my God.
tonight. I'm wearing this tonight.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna burn down the JPL. I'm kidding.
That's beautiful.
All right, well, whatever. That's ridiculous. I can't wait
Shake
to.
it off him.
Yeah, whatever. No one cares. Let's get to this conversation with head coach Jamey Chadwell. Many know him as Liberty's head football coach. Others know him as the 2023 pool basketball champion.
Stop it.
Oh, wow.
You know, you had the
Stop
game-winning
it.
shot.
You were right there.
You had
Did you hit the game-winning shot?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, it was after he tried to drown me.
Yeah, I have heard a lot of stories about that.
Do you know
We
what?
thought
You
that
know
drag
what?
queen was like overreact or being a little dramatic about the drowning thing, and then we heard it from 3 other people the same story, and we're like, wow.
So my wife tells me after that evening, after everybody left, she says, "Yeah, I was standing beside one of the coaches when you were playing pool basketball, and when I had you were backing up the
Had you
basket,
underwater for 20
and I had you under the water, right?" She said, "Wow, you were under there so long that at one point one of the other coaches looked at my wife and said, 'We're about ready to lose our head coach. He's going to drown.'"
That's actually not funny at all.
No, he was fine.
I can speak for the guys. We are so honored that you decided to come on the Flame Central podcast to announce the starting quarterback for week 1. Yeah.
So everybody shows up, gets a chance to see it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
What are your emotions and feelings going into? I know you've said a lot about there's a difference between having those nerves going into week 1 and being anxious when you're not prepared, and there's a big difference.
Yeah, right now I think we're actually a little anxious, because we obviously still got a few practices to go, but just making sure your team understands the importance of every little thing that matters. I think our attitude and our effort's been great the last week and a half. We just had to really focus in on some details and some of those things. That's what we've been harping on. And our theme, I would kick him out if he was a player.
I know that he does this every week.
Every week.
Our theme for the week is trust.
Okay.
And just, guys obviously trusting the staff, trusting their assignments, trusting what we're doing, the schemes, and that's been a big emphasis for us.
You talk about the detail. You make that shift from just camp to now focusing for a specific opponent. Is what you're doing a lot more detailed? How have you seen the transition just with your team from kind of going from just general camp stuff to now it's Bowling Green staring you in the face and you're trying to plan for somebody?
Yeah, what happens when you get to an opponent, when you're in camp, you're putting your playbooks in. Then once you get into an opponent, now there's, all right, this is something off of it that's we've not done yet, but you can do off of it. Now that takes a little while for guys to understand because you're trying to scheme an opponent, where versus your defense or offense, you're calling plays and just wanting to execute. And so that's the detailed piece of understanding what we're trying to do, but why we're trying to do it. And just those guys taking more time to study video, watch themselves, what they have to do to perform at a high level over and over again. In practice you mess it up, we replay it. We don't get to replay on Saturday, and so we're trying to make sure we don't have many replays on Saturday.
So, Coach, from when you got here, from you first arrived to now where you're at, you've had a lot of in many ways, turmoil, a lot of roster, obviously the transfer portal is crazy, but a lot of kids leaving at the transfer portal, coaching changes, so on, and all the different stuff that's out there. What has it been for you from when you arrived to where you are now in terms of your expectations, what you thought it was to be, and what it actually is right now?
Well, it's not really close to what you thought it would be to now, but that's really college football now. I mean, when you coming into a team or a program with the way the portal and all the different things is, you're never going to have what you think it is. And so I do think we are way better from the mentality that we want to have and our culture we want to have from December till now. Obviously, we lost a lot of really good players through the portal and graduation and pro draft and all those different things. And so it's hard to replace the experience on the field with guys that are coming in the portal that you might get some more talented guys, but maybe you're not getting guys that have played as much. And so our biggest challenge now is we've got to try to implement the players. They've not played as much, but they've got to be ready to go. And that's what we're replacing. The guys that we lost play a lot of football. And that's the hardest part. But I do like our group. I think we have, as I said, I think the mentality of the group, they've bought into what we're asking them to do. And I do like that our culture is at a point where I feel that'll help us continue to build going forward.
Is it if you had to give a scale on 1 to 10 for where you look at a football team and you say this team is gelled? I'm sure obviously when you're at Coast and other places that you've been, it's like you get to that point where these guys are together. This team is gelled. First year program, a lot of different change. Where do you put in that scale right now with what your team is, where they're at going into this first game, on how you feel they've gelled as a unit, as a team?
We're not there yet. I think we're making strides every day. The hardest part when you take over and you're trying to do some things a little differently or the way you want to do them is gaining trust of the team, which I think they trust us, but I also think they want to see results. It's not a blind trust.
Right.
And so we're not completely where I would like for us to be, because I think they want to say, well, if we're doing it your way, is it going to work within a win?
Right.
Yeah. I think that's where some of our mentality is right now, especially with our older players a little bit, just because they went through doing a certain way and they won a certain way. We're trying to win a different way. And I think the guys that we brought in and the people, our freshmen, all that, they're in because that's what we sold them on. I think some of our older guys are still trying to say, hey, do we completely trust this?
Right.
Let's see what that result works. And I think we've made great strides in that, but I still think we got, I don't want to say holdouts, but I think we still got some guys maybe trying to see how it's going to go. And you can't have that if you're going to be successful long term, because the quote we've been using a lot, I'd rather have 1,000 enemies outside the tent than one inside of it, right? And so that's the main thing, is getting completely sold into what we're doing. And I think we are closer than we've ever been. But that's why I'm so anxious right now, because are we going to get to the point where, hey, we're trusted no matter what happens? We're obviously going to win this game, but this game, no matter what happens, win or loss, doesn't define what we're trying to do. and that's the main focus.
You told us in your press conference last week that you have most of the depth chart, figured out. What position groups are still up for grabs and battling it out?
Well, I think I think at receiver we've got to get some consistency there. I mean, we've got guys that are going to play, but actually when it's third down and somebody needs to play, who's going to be where and who can we count on and trust? We're still developing through that, and part of that's because of some injuries and guys not being able to get as many opportunities as we like for them to see how they respond. And then I think you're going to, in our secondary, I think we'll play a lot. In defense, you play a lot of people anyway, so it's not like everybody plays the whole game. You're rotating quite a bit, but I still think we've got some quality competition there at the secondary level as far as we're talking about offense and defense. And then that sort of transitions over to special teams because the different things that we're doing there's a lot of competition where guys can get some playing time on special teams.
What do you know about Bowling Green? And do you know, because they've kind of got a quarterback battle as well, who do you expect to play quarterback for them?
Well, I know if you watch them, they're a tough physical football team. They play with a lot of confidence. They special teams wise, they blocked 3 punts last year. They tied number 2 in the country at block punts. So they create a lot of opportunities on special teams. They're really good on that. If you watch them, they play hard, and I think they're very physical from a defensive standpoint. And offensively, they do a lot of. I would say sort of old school wise, they use a lot of 2 tight ends and different things. They're not like a traditional spread team is spreading it out. They're going to really try to come after you in the run game, and so it's going to be a physical game. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be, and our guys are preparing obviously for whoever it may be. But more than anything, we talked a lot about our team. We're playing against ourselves. It's about our own mindset and our belief in what we believe, and so they're really good. And if we can go out and play well Saturday, that'd be great for us as far as just, helping us get to the point where we want to go. But our main focus really has been on what we do and what we can control.
If you had to, you look at your position groups, right now, defensive, offensively, where would you say are the strengths of those position groups? What are the top ones that you're most happy with?
I would think offensive line, we have a chance there. I would feel really good about it.
That helps.
I would really, I feel really good about it. If Schlittler wouldn't, got injured there, but I do think we got a chance to be pretty solid up there because we got some older guys that have played some, and then I think our running backs have a chance to be pretty good. I think we've got some talented guys there, and there's some depth there that we can put some different players in. And I think on the defensive side of the ball. We've only got 2 guys coming back that really played much. Yeah. And so it's all a toss-up there. I do think we've got depth at D-line that I think guys that we think are going to be solid. I think our linebackers are all right. We brought some guys in to provide some depth there. And then secondary, there's a lot of talented guys, just not a lot of guys that played a lot. And so what you worry about as a coach when you've got guys that aren't playing a lot, they get fearful of making a mistake. Right. And then when you get fearful of making mistakes, you don't play free. And you make more mistakes. Right. And so we're really talking a lot about that. That's where the trust comes in. Mm-hmm. That's why that's the word, just trusting yourself, trusting what we're doing, so they can go out and play up to the ability they have. And if we'll do that, we'll be fine.
How's Kendi doing?
He's doing well. He's one of the leaders there up front, especially defense, and he's really a leader within our locker room. And he's had a good camp for us. Good.
Yeah, we got some inside info on the D-line and some names that it's just going to be exciting to see because we didn't know, obviously, with the roster turnover, but we do the Flames fantasy draft. Mm-hmm. I won it last year, Coach, if you're wondering. But, just hearing that inside scoop, I'm a real insider with, the coaching staff to really understand.
Might have been harassing some of your assistant coaches.
That's what you have to do in order. There has to be some sort of, journalist around here with these guys. But Week 0 for CUSA. Did you watch any of the games? Are you big on watching the games this past weekend?
You know what? I saw some highlights or something. Obviously, we practiced that Saturday, and then after you get done with that, that's probably your last weekend for family time. Yeah. I mean, realistic. So try to do some things there with that. I saw the last maybe 2 minutes of the New Mexico State, I think UMass game. Saw a little bit of that. I've tried to see some of the scores a little bit, but I didn't pay a lot of attention to it.
It's raining today. I saw you guys practicing. You guys had guys outside. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you this. Joe Yock cares about, he's about 3 things in his life. Giving people the best rates he can on a home mortgage.
Yeah, good point.
Providing the best.
JPL.
pickleball league / athletic compound that he possibly can, and practicing outside. He is all about that.
Yeah, you got to practice in the rain.
Is that something that you try to take advantage of when you have conditions like today? You want to get out there. You're not just tucked away in the nice, warm, cozy indoor. You try to make your guys a little bit uncomfortable at times.
Well, I think, one, you play outside.
Right.
So, two, never having an indoor, I really don't know how to use it as much, so I'm always thinking we're just outside. It's great to have it. If it would have been a downpour, I would have definitely been inside, just because I think today the quality of practice would have been more important than being out in the elements. But it wasn't terrible. But I do believe in practicing outside. During the spring, we had some cold weather and some rain. We were outside all the time.
There you go.
Because one, I just don't want us to have any excuse. We're going to play in hot weather. We might play in the snow. We might play in rain. And I don't want it to be an excuse for why, hey, we didn't perform well. If we don't, it's not going to be because we didn't prepare for it.
You got to be able to throw the ball in the rain.
Yeah.
You got to be able to catch the ball in the rain. You got to be able to secure the ball in the rain. You're going to have a rain game. Yeah. And if you don't practice in it, then don't complain if you fumble all over the place and you mess the whole thing up. So
right,
some of these guys like these indoor things. Indoor facilities are for recruiting. Rain practices are for winning.
All right, what do you want to ask Coach about the defense? It's game week.
Oh yeah. So I would say.
I really have to give him a rundown.
No. This is good. I would say one of the things here, over the past, obviously this is your era. You're moving forward, but one of the things that it was really exciting for me was to see throughout the years recently, especially as they changed into FBS, is how much the defense improved and how hard they played and how they got after the football. And so, my number one thing I'm looking forward to is just to see those guys let loose and be able to play at that high level. Mm-hmm. Do you feel as if this defense is ready for that, or is what you said, you got some young guys that may be more concerned about making a mistake than just letting it go and playing football? Where do you feel you're at with that right now?
Well, I do think, the defense over the last several years have played really well. Last, I think, 2 years were top 15 and in the country, which so there's a great standard there, and we have some guys, as I said, that played in that and expect that standard, but the majority of those guys over there don't know what that standard is. I do think you will see us play hard, go after the football, play aggressive, but I am anxious right now about guys wanting to do perfect and be so consumed with doing it perfect and not making a mistake that they paralyze themselves a little bit,
Paralysis by analysis.
Correct. And so we've worked hard on that. I think we've got a good staff over there. I think we've got quality leaders that have played a lot of football over there on that side of the ball. And we do have talented individuals. It's just playing hard. And then the biggest concern I have right now is just in general is when we get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Are we going to punch back? Mm-hmm. Are we going to get down and, what's going on? Or are we just going to keep, our big thing is striking. So we're going to keep doing that. Yeah. Just don't, because it's not about focusing on the scoreboard. It's about what we can control. And so that's really our big emphasis is just what can we control? Let's do it the best of our ability. And then if we do that, then I feel good about what will happen on the scoreboard.
Do you feel as if with this Bowling Green game in specific where you say, hey, they play tight ends, they're coming at you. They want to run. This is going to be a physical football game, which in a day and age where to be honest with you, it's not. It's become spread it out, create space, get the ball in space, and these guys line up and come after you. As you head into this week of preparation, do you feel confident that you can stop these guys?
I do. I think we've had, we try to, I don't want to say try, we pride ourselves on being a physical team on both sides of the ball. We practice that way. And so this will be a big challenge to see if we're ready for that or not. And I do believe that we've prepared that way from a physical standpoint. Now it's going to come down to, do we believe in what we're doing enough to keep doing it over and over? Because they're not going to stop. They're going to keep running right at us. They do. And do we have enough when it's in the fourth quarter, if it's hot or the weather, whatever it may be? Do we have enough trust in each other that we're going to keep fighting for each other? And so that's our biggest focus.
Last thing for me, and talking about the defensive side, on game day, how do you see the responsibilities divvied up on your coaching staff in terms of calling the defense? And as a head coach that's thought of as more of an offensive guy, how much input, how much do you kind of chime in within a game itself on the defensive side of the ball?
Coach McGee and Coach Krantz will handle the play calling for us on defense on game day. They both have been doing that now since in the spring. And handling that, so they've done a good job with that, of communicating and who's watching what. So I have 100% confidence in them. The only thing I typically try to focus on, I know enough defense to hurt somebody. That's about it. So I try not to do something I'm not. But what I look for, are we playing hard? Are we playing with unbelievable effort? And are we not doing foolish things? Like I get upset if we jump off sides, foolish penalties, things of that, on both sides of the ball. If we're playing hard and there's a penalty here for somebody playing hard, we'll figure that out. But I really focus on those things. And then really the management of it, as far as, hey, am I anticipating, would they go for it here on fourth down if I was in their shoes, or hey, look for a trick play, some of those things from that standpoint. But I let them call it. I trust that they, again, I know enough to, I'll say, hey, run this, and it'll probably be a touchdown, so I don't want to ever do that. So.
I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but when you came to the Mountain and you talked to us about like the celebrations post-game in the locker room, who was responsible for that this week?
So Coach Durkin.
Very important.
Coach Durkin, he's got the championship for the week. He obviously coached at Bowling Green for a while, so that was part of the reason there. But he has it this week. He presented to the team Saturday what we're playing for, and so they know it, and that's what we're hopefully we'll be able to celebrate it.
This is exciting. We're going in the fire with Coach Chadwell this week, so you got to make sure you tune into Flame Central to check that out, and maybe we'll be able to get some of that celebration. But we'll see.
As long as I don't get in trouble, I've got in trouble.
That's right.
I got in trouble with Payton.
We'll take care of you, Coach. We're just excited to see, and I'm sure you are too, what a game day looks like here on the other sideline, right? Where you don't have the students on your back, screaming at you, just to see what this place looks like packed out. And hopefully we get that on what should be a perfect Saturday.
Yeah, we hopefully all of our fans will show up. We need all the community. It's going to be a beautiful day, and I'm confident you'll see us play hard and play for each other.
Joe, you got anything else?
One last thing on special teams. Kyle Cranston, especially, I've talked to Kyle a few times, just like, what will be a little bit of a different look with your special teams this year? So I know you guys are, really focused on trying to be good in that area of football. So what should we expect from that? Nobody ever talks about that much.
Yeah, you know what? Coach and the staff has done a good job of, we're trying to let those guys over there, we feel like we're pretty athletic, and really letting those guys play within their ability. And so giving them some base things and then letting them go do what they can do well. Hopefully you'll see us be very aggressive, coming after things.
Yeah.
I would describe we want to be aggressive.
Nice.
And so in all facets, that's what we're going to try to be.
Awesome. So excited for the Chadwell era to begin. Go to lufootball.com if you haven't gotten your tickets, and come out and support your Flames this Saturday.
Noon kick. What is your ideal kickoff time?
Yeah,
do you have one? Does it matter to you? If you had your
He's
choice.
an early morning guy.
Coaches,
You like that?
biggest
early kick,
secret for coaches, we want it early as possible.
Just get it.
When I was at Charleston Southern, we kicked off 11:45.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be on that little ticker at ESPN before game day went off. So, but players want night games, which I get. I'm not against that. But as far as coaches, if you got a night game, you sit around really all day Saturday, and you watch another games, and it's fine. But you'd love to get at it right now. But I think if players had their ideal one, it'd probably be like 3:30 tonight. Just because. But for coaches, early as possible.
All right, here we go.
I think we're the same as broadcasters. Not like that ever matters, or that we have an input whatsoever.
But I think we hopefully our fans will show up. But whoever gets the most people here, we'll kick it off whatever time.
Sounds great. All right, Coach. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Huge shout out to Coach Chadwell for spending some of his game week prep coming on the Flame Central podcast.
Powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Powered by Alcova Mortgage. I don't know. How are we feeling, guys? I think that this is what every coach feels going into week one.
Week one, especially in a new place, I feel like everybody just kind of wants to not get this one behind you, but in some ways you just want to see what you have. Get in the real situation under the lights, or it'll be noon, so not. But just get it. Okay, got that under our belt. Now let's move forward. So there's that kind of extra anxiety he was talking about going into game number one. Also, you've had the quarterback battle all camp long, if it's been as close as they say, there's probably a little anxiety of we told the guy who's QB1, we hope we made the right choice. All of that factoring in, I think you just want to get this one under your belt.
Here's what I think the bottom line is that there's two words: anxious and pressure. Right? And that is this. From the moment that Liberty University joined the FBS, they've been successful.
It's true.
They had success, bowl game, program continuing to build.
Top 25.
Top 25, more people in the stands, better facilities. Everything that they've done has been successful. So this isn't a situation where you walk in and go, hey, I'm taking over a 2-10 program. Sure. It's a situation where you're taking over a really good program, and the expectation levels are already very high from a fan base perspective. Yeah. And so yes, I mean, of course, right? He hasn't seen his product play a game yet. And so you're going to feel anxious. There's going to be pressure there because the expectations are very high. Yeah. And so it's very, very natural.
It's not only coming into a program and taking over a successful program that he hasn't been through that before, but it's also like a different age with football, with the transfer portal,
Correct.
like you talked about. Like, you haven't had like a set roster in how long, right? Like, really since you've been here, except through camp. But then, have you? Because then all these injuries through camp. So it's just, I think that's adding to the anxiety.
Sure.
But
let's just play some football. Can we just get out there, hit somebody in the mouth? Let's play some football.
Right.
Everybody will feel a lot better. You get that first hit out of the way. Let's go.
And Coach did say that he's kind of like, I'm calling him Chicken Little, like with like the world is ending. Isn't that Chicken Little?
Yes.
The sky is falling type thing. Yeah. But maybe this team will surprise him, with their effort and
every coach is like that.
Every coach.
But in his defense, like, once again, taking over that winning program, and then. Most winning programs, unless somebody's graduated and there's next guy, there's uncertainty at the quarterback position. Mm-hmm. Like, who is gonna, whichever guy you do pick, right? Will that guy play well? If he doesn't play well,
you're gonna be second
how long do you go with that guy? Then you got the next guy that you didn't pick. So I mean, there's just a lot of uncertainty there that will get worked out. What I've been saying this since day one is that I really believe the defense is going to have to carry the offense through some rough waters.
Yeah, you said that. You said especially the first few weeks.
The first few weeks, and they'll eventually sort it out, and eventually they'll settle in, and eventually things will be fine. But the defense is going to have to step up and play really well, especially this Bowling Green team. When he talks about the day and age of playing, 2 tight ends and coming at you, old school smash mouth football, you don't see a lot anymore. So that can wear on you. The defense is going to have to step up big time in this game.
Okay, before we get to the Week 0 games in the CUSA, real quickly, getting through Week 1, this first game, is it more important and valuable for those coaches to have that film or players to just really get out there and hit somebody else other than your own teammate?
Oh, boy. I think with this team, it's hard to pick between the two because you have a lot of players that haven't done it either. Mm-hmm. You're talking about those young guys on the defensive side. Like, yes, the coaches want to see film on them. Yeah. These guys just want to see, can I play at this level? Right. Like, you have that, until you do it, you kind of have that nagging doubt a little bit. Like, can I be as good as I think I can? So I think it's a little bit of both where it's like, man, we haven't seen you start just going down the roster. And we'll get to our Flames fantasy draft in a minute. Mm-hmm. When we went through that exercise of kind of like, what would a draft look like? Who would we pick? And that's part of the fun of it. You start realizing, like, dude, there's not many guys that have done, significant things on the field.
Right.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. He said we basically 2 guys that have played a lot of defense, played a lot. So
I'm usually clueless and unprepared, but this year I'm really just at a whole nother level.
You have an excuse.
Liberty's truly going to be that team. You say make your most improvements from week 1 to week 2. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That I think this year could be. And you want them to go play well. You go out and play well, win the football game, right? Yeah. But I think you will see a massive improvement from week 1 to week 2.
There's no style points.
Just find a way.
If you grind out a 17-14 win on Saturday, we're all happy, and like you said, you go back to the drawing board and figure out how can we improve for week 2. You just got to grind it out.
100%.
All right, so Week 0 CUSA games, UMass put up 28 points in the 4th quarter. Our boy,
UMass looks not like the UMass we've seen for the last decade.
Yeah. Diego Pavia,
struggled a little bit.
UMass took that one 41-30.
By the way, Emily, Austin, did you notice that the sideline reporter was doing in-game coach interviews?
Yeah.
After each quarter.
Can I say something about that? Can I say something about that real quick? Did you get a lot of information from the coach?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was very surprised that they would do
that to me is it's cool, great. Like I'm getting the most exclusive in-game content. Awesome. Well, guess what? You never get anything.
Good.
Like whenever you have to do that in the NBA, like they're, like doing
really
the huddle
just
after
need
the
to
first
rebound
quarter.
better.
You get forward. Everyone is taking the
I think
Popovich
that's basically
approach
what it
with
was.
that.
The UMass coach, Don Brown, when they talked to him, it was basically just like, yeah, we just need to finish. We just need to finish this one out. Need to finish it out. Like that's what you get.
You get nothing.
Like, that's all you got.
It's already enough. It's already enough inside. No, I already think it's good enough to get the halftime stuff, and then the postgame stuff. The after the quarters, like let them do their job.
She's with in-game interviews like you are with practicing in the ring.
No.
Like,
I'm just like very. I know I'm very worked up, but it's just like I understand that the media needs to do their job, but in my opinion, it's already a stretch.
It's okay.
Can I say my piece on this? It's already enough getting the post-game stuff and all the interviews throughout the week. Let the man do his job in a game. That is not the time for media interviews. Cool, whoever thought of that. Okay. Louisiana Tech took down FIU 22-17. I just think it's a little ridiculous.
Louisiana Tech's an interesting team to watch.
Mm-hmm. Is it LA Tech
staff,
or Louisiana? La Tech.
LA
Tech?
And
I don't know.
LA Tech. What is this? Wasn't that like, or that's LA Gear. That's what I'm thinking of, yeah. And they've got the transfer quarterback.
I don't think La Tech.
Transfer quarterback from Boise State, Hank Bachmeier, who he threw for 333 yards, 44 pass attempts. So they slung it around the yard a little bit. So that's good. And their receiver, who I think was preseason special teams player of the year, Smoke Harris, 155 yards receiving and a touchdown. So they're going to be an interesting team to watch this year.
And finally, what a great game it was between Jack State and UTEP. Down to the final play, it was Jeremiah Harris who ended it with an incredible interception there.
Welcome to the FBS. Yeah. That's it, right?
Welcome.
You come in there, Rich Rod gets a win. That's big.
Final score in that one, 17-14.
They have a good history. They've a winning program for a long time.
It should be interesting. We were talking before we started recording the podcast. Like, it's just exciting that Liberty's part of a conference now, and we get to follow along with these other schools to see how this conference is going to shake out with all the new faces and all that. So
they do the full conference championship football game. It's the whole dog and pony show.
All right, we have a great mailbag coming up ahead. But first, do we want to just roll in our Flames fantasy, or do we want to go through it?
Let me just roll through it real fast.
Okay.
We do it real fast, okay? We'll go round by round, and you make a quick comment.
First overall pick.
Joe had the first pick. So this is what we do. 5 players, 3 offense, 2 defense, no quarterbacks. You know the deal. Joe went, number 1 pick, Vaughn Blue, freshman running back, true freshman.
Bang.
Emily goes Quentin Cooley, running back.
That's what you're saying, just
We're
bang?
rolling.
I go Billy Lucas, running back.
Billy Cool Hand Lucas.
3 running backs off the bat. What does that say?
Billy Cool Hand Lucas.
It says maybe we don't have a lot of confidence outside of the running back room right now, which Jamey Chadwell said is one of the strengths, right?
Yeah.
Well,
He
a
likes
lot
that.
of injuries at that
Yeah,
receiver
so there's a
position.
lot of question marks elsewhere.
My line is Quentin Cooley, the bowling ball. You took Vaughn Blue. You're feeling blue after that pick because you should have gone with Cooley.
That's my boy Blue.
Yeah.
That pick is
That's
going
my
to
boy
be
Blue.
a strike for EA.
So then,
Second round.
I went with Elijah Smoot, transfer wide receiver.
You know what? I'm going to tell this right now.
Yeah.
That's
think
the
that was
dark horse pick.
yeah.
That's the dark horse pick
agree.
of the league right there.
I
M
agree.
took C.J. Daniels, wide receiver. He's been dinged
C4.
up. He's been dinged up.
C4,
Got to
I like
get him
that,
out of the way healthy.
C4, he's going to be explosive.
Okay, all right. They can watch your one-liners if they want to. And then Joe took Bentley Handshot. Go ahead.
To take a ride in my Bentley Henshaw.
There you go. Third round, Noah Frith.
I think we think that we're funnier than what
for
everyone
sure.
else thinks.
No doubt about it. Joe took Noah Frith.
Noah Frith. Can I get a skinny caramel macchiato with a shot of Frith on top?
No, you butchered that.
I butchered that.
I totally butchered that.
I don't even know
You
that.
didn't even know that. It's not even a drink. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my
He
gosh.
took
I
Frith.
went with Kendi Charles.
Kendi Charles.
New number this year, number 9. So they're calling him K9.
Yeah.
Those quarterbacks are going to have a rough game with him on the line.
I went back-to-back linebackers, Tyron Dupree, Jerome Jolly. She went Austin Henderson back to the tight end. Quentin Reese lasted later than maybe we thought he would, so he went in the 4th round. And then finally, Ryan Whitehead, a name to remember at the defensive end spot. They're high on him. Emily went with Brylan Green.
That pick was money.
I rounded it out with Kylan Austin at the receiver spot. So we'll be tracking this all year long, like we always do, updates on the podcast, and we're also allowing us to switch out players. We've had some problems, and people have suggested, they're like, if you just get stuck with a guy who gets hurt or not playing. So after week 4, we can basically go onto the waiver wire, swap out, and after week 8. Also, if a guy gets injured and is out, so we can just replace him at that point. So
Brylan Green, you think that Joe Yock is the mean green
No,
mortgage
I'm the
machine?
lean green.
No,
mortgage
you're
machine.
well, not lately.
What are you talking
What does that
about?
mean? I don't know. Guys, can we get to the mailbag?
Exactly.
Okay, let me go around the campus real quick with some updates. Men's soccer, big win over St. Peter's in the home opener. The Peacocks. Michael Huss scored with 32 seconds left in that one to give the LU the win. Good showing in that game. If you want to come out again and support the Flames, they play Belmont Abbey tonight at 7 p.m. Women's soccer on a roll. 4-0 to start the season. They're at Longwood Thursday, West Virginia on Sunday. Nice. Field hockey. They started this season. I guess that's working, or it's still
they have a tough
happening.
one tomorrow night.
Who they got?
Yes,
number 6 UVA.
at Virginia.
Oh, yeah, Virginia.
Yeah, so we have some My Moments that are coming out for field hockey that are really good. I think that Liberty's still ranked number 14 in the country, so hopefully that'll move them up with those 2 wins to start the season. Volleyball swept all of their competition to start the season, so they're starting off 3-0. When I started off the podcast at the beginning, who's perfect on the mountain? Well, all of the women's sports currently are perfect on the mountain. So that's pretty cool way to start off the year. Let's go to mailbag, and then we'll end the show with bold predictions.
Will you do the honors?
Every time I miss about mailbag.
Thank you. Great showing in the mailbag this week. Remember, flamecentral@liberty.edu. We're going to send out some of these mugs this week. I can tell you that right now. We have some great questions. Let's start with our guy, Nick Pretty. I think he already has a mug.
Nick, why you got to be so pretty?
All right, he wanted to know, and we've kind of answered this already. He asked who could be a big wide receiver surprise. We think Smoot could be that guy for the Flames.
Not Kylan Austin. I think Kylan Austin will, have a good year. And then, who's the other sleeper that we were talking about at practice? Really hard worker.
Really hard worker.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Love him.
Listen.
Great kid. Good attitude. Puts his hard hat on
and off the field.
Great motor. Gets in and out of his breaks well. High points the football.
Someone
willing
please.
to do the dirty work.
So, please fill my role.
We'll figure it out for next week. I don't know. I don't remember who you're
I'm
talking
telling you right now.
Smaller guy. We were just told that
he.
he might have a big role because of how hard he works in this offense and with the wide receivers.
Go down the list. We got them.
I know, yeah. We'll figure that. I don't remember.
It's okay.
I don't know.
Hey, I'm telling you though.
whatever.
I'm telling you to answer that question.
Yeah.
I think the use of the tight ends in this offense is going to be one of the key points. Henshaw, Bentley Henshaw is going to have a big year. Watch Bentley Henshaw.
I'm so mad at myself right
focused
now. If Doug, had a roster behind the scenes,
Next question. Next question. This comes to us from Bruce. Bruce had a whole bunch of questions, one of which was, will Joe Yock take over coaching duties if Liberty adds a pickleball team? I think you've said before you're first in line for that.
I've put a lot of thought into that lately.
Yeah.
I have. And if Liberty was to go club pickleball, I think I could lead that program.
You position yourself
I think I could lead that program eventually. I'm not going to say it's going to happen overnight.
Yeah. Right.
It's going to take time. I'm a program builder.
You're kind of guy.
Right. I think eventually I could lead it to a D1
You're the Jerry Kill.
It's going to. Thank you.
Right.
What'd you say?
The Jerry Kill of
Kill.
the New Mexico State coach.
Yes. The answer to that question.
All right. Here's a good question. Yeah. This comes to us from Noah Johnson. How much faith do we have in our field goal unit this year?
Ooh.
Nick Brown, and who else is up for that job?
I mean, he's the one that
Nick Brown's going to be
did
the
all
guy.
the work last year. So, how much faith does any team have? I mean,
college kickers.
College kickers, you never quite know. Here's all you want. You just want from like 40 and in consistency. If you can have the leg to give yourself a prayer from 50, great. In certain situations, you can run them out there. But more importantly is, can you be consistent from like 40 in it?
Yeah, we didn't see much confidence.
Listen, what was the name of the guy asked this question?
Noah.
Here, let's get direct with Noah.
Yeah.
Noah, here's how this is going to play out. And you ask yourself, at the end of the season, you just remind everybody that, oh, yeah, by the way, I heard that first at Yocktown. Right? Nick Brown goes 16 for 19 for the season, has a great season, doesn't miss an extra point.
That's great.
Kicking unit's going to be great.
And you know what? Jamey Chadwell, if you're still here, he'd sign for that right now.
He'd sign for that right now.
All right,
there you go.
Next question from Jeff. Jeff was the guy I ran into outside of practice that day from Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Listen to
Jeff.
us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jeff.
He wants to know, Malik DeMario in the NFL, which player on the current roster has the potential to go to the NFL within the next year or two?
That's a really good question.
Can I
Yes,
go first?
go.
Xavier
go.
Gadlin.
Okay, that's a good.
I think it's
he's got a chance.
Gadlin.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Maybe Kendi.
Yeah, maybe. I think you look physically.
Yeah,
You look at Quentin Reese
That's
and
what I
you
was gonna
say,
say.
Reese
boy,
is-
physically,
Yes.
you're like, that dude looks like an NFL player. Now it's got to translate.
Yeah.
You need to have a dominant season.
Yeah, the name that popped in my mind is Quentin Reese because of his length, his ability to run. He can still tackle downhill. I think he's good enough in the cover. But once again, you look at him athletically. Yes, you say yes, but he's going to have to string together. Is he a junior or senior?
He's a senior.
He's senior, so this is it. So he's going to have to put together a really good year to have that opportunity. But I think from looking body perspective that he's got the best
All
opportunity.
right, last question. This comes to us from Tim, and he asks, can we do the podcast with a live audience on campus?
Oh, it's about why hasn't this been brought up earlier?
Well,
I think we
here's
could do
the
this.
here's the key to this.
Don't talk to me about logistics.
Here's the
either.
key. We have to do it somewhere where a large crowd has already gathered for something else. Just to guarantee that we have some
I
people
wouldn't say
show
it.
up.
I would say that we could do it anywhere and a large crowd would gather.
I don't know. You think?
No, I doubt
don't
it.
think so.
I doubt it.
I don't
No,
think
I'm with you on that. But let's take it to
Tell
the
you what,
streets.
Tim,
for
just
it.
Tim,
Let's
just shoot
take
me
it
a
to the
text. We'll
streets.
just let you in the door any Monday morning you want to come. Like, does that work for you?
You can see Will have
Yeah, we'll put you on the. You
We'll
can
put you on the
you
show.
can co-host. I don't, like.
Sibley.
Oh,
Treyon
Treyon Sibley.
Sibley.
It took all this time. Yes.
Sorry,
Sibley,
I'm
Treyon
like,
Sibley.
that
She
is a
has been
very good
listening to
question.
And
what we've
everything
been
we
saying.
said.
No, I do
fits.
think that we should.
Yeah, all the things
Yeah,
we said.
Treyon
fit.
Sibley.
It's
Good
Treyon
call.
Sibley. Good kid.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
And his made
No, I
plays.
do think it'd be fun to do a live podcast. We talked about doing that for fall camp this year.
We
maybe
go
one of
from
the
live from
scrimmage.
105. Remember we used to
We
do
used to
live
do
from-
that.
Oh my gosh,
used to
that
do
was
that.
talk about a train wreck.
You know what? Here, how about this? Hold on. How about this?
That was really fun.
If Liberty makes the Conference USA championship game,
Yeah,
why don't we try to do a podcast live from there?
let's do it.
Let's
From
do
the-
it.
from the championship?
Is the championship game just whatever?
It's home sites. I think it's like.
Oh, so it's not a neutral
no,
site.
it's not. It's not
Okay,
neutral.
I didn't
believe,
know if
yeah.
it was
So
neutral.
you're telling me the Conference USA Championship game could be right here at Williams Stadium?
We got a long way to go, Joe. We're
got a long
taking
way to
one
go,
play-
but
one
that's-
game
but-
at a time, one play at a time. We're not getting ahead of ourselves.
We're just trying to win
Right.
each and every
Win
play.
the day. We're just trying to win the day.
Win
We're trying
the
to win
day.
Monday right now.
You know, and if we don't turn over
yeah,
the football,
right.
we're going to give ourselves a chance. to
Yeah,
win.
that's it.
All right, bold predictions. Let's go.
Oh,
with,
right.
I'm gonna write them down.
You know
Yeah,
what? We're
this
going to do
is
a better
really, really
job.
tough.
We're going to do a better job of keeping track of this year.
Don't let me lose this piece of paper.
Come on, Matt. You got to
Don't let me lose this piece of paper.
You know what? I'm just gonna email it to
Famous
myself
last
right now.
words.
Right now, I'm just gonna
All
email
right,
it to myself.
who's
and we're
going
done.
bold predictions
Go.
first?
Go ahead, Joe Yak, because
You want
I know.
me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead with your bold prediction, or
All
I
right.
can if you're not ready.
I'm going to go, my bold prediction is going to be that freshman Von Blue has a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown.
Wow. Okay.
2 touchdowns for the freshman in his first game.
No, can I tell you what Emily's gonna say right now? She's like, "Where's the bold in that?"
I mean, good night,
This is
a
what
fr-
you. This is what you get every
yeah,
week.
no, I was gonna say,
That's what you get every
are
week
you
from
doing
her.
a score?
Oh, we do score. No, bold predictions.
bold predictions,
is for
it just
bold
always-
predictions
Just
just for
bold.
player.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we'll come back to score predictions. But
Okay,
what's your bold prediction?
I'm gonna say that Caden Salter is.
You're naming your QB1.
I'm naming my QB1 as Kate. I have not been at practice. I clearly don't work Fridays. Well, I work, but I'm not
I can
physically.
confirm that.
So I was not at practice, so I literally have no idea. But I'm just my gut.
Your
is
gut's
telling
telling
me
you.
Salter
Oh, that would
is
be.
going to have 3 rushing touchdowns.
Wow.
And we don't even know if he's playing yet.
I know.
right. So
That's
is
how
bold.
bold.
That
How bold is that? yeah.
You don't even know
Yeah.
he's starting, and you're giving a bold prediction.
That is what.
That's
that
bold.
is bold.
That's
in
bold. That's bold.
in italics
You just-
and underline with a font
All right.
of 20.
All right. My bold prediction is the defensive side.
Yeah.
We're going to see what we saw early last year. Get after the quarterback, 5 sacks, 3 turnovers forced.
Wow.
Defense is going to put the hammer
Wow.
down, and they're going to
Pick
save
up
the
the hammer.
day. And no
Finally,
matter what happens,
someone
the
does a
offense will
bold
do just enough to
prediction.
pull
Love
it.
it.
I think Liberty's going to
write that
win
down?
17-14. Wait, that can't happen if I have 3 rushing
That's true. That would be tough if Salter ran for 3 touchdowns. The math doesn't quite add up. Yeah.
I have got to get smarter
Yeah.
before this next
18,
podcast.
14.
18. Yeah, right. 3 missed extra points. Yeah. Which goes against your Nick Brown thing earlier.
Everything's getting blown up.
Whatever. Why do you
All right,
why do
give
you
me a
watch
score.
this? Yeah. Why does
This
anybody watch?
thing-
Who wants to come see this live? Really?
20,
Yeah.
this is bad. I actually had a rundown this week, though.
Wait, give me a
So
score.
I guess 28, 27.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow,
Let's
thriller.
see me close.
Matt, do we have a spread on this game?
I have not
like
seen
that.
yet.
I
I have
haven't
not
thought
seen.
about that.
I'll look into that.
Yeah,
real
we need a
fast.
spread.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me your score, Matt.
No, he's looking at
Okay, I'll do
the spread up.
You know what?
I can't believe I said that.
I think the Flames come out fired up, ready to play. They handle this. They handle their business. And I'm going to go with 31-17 Flames.
31-17 Flames.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
According
touchdown
to ESPN right now, it's Liberty favored by 9.5.
Oh.
So that's bigger
that's a
than
bigger
I
spread than I
expected.
thought.
I'm going to go with Liberty 17, Bowling Green 13.
Wow.
Final.
This is a
Yeah.
low scoring.
Low
game.
scoring,
What was
early
your bold
part of the
prediction?
year.
Does that math work?
That math works.
Okay.
You saw it. You saw it in a couple of those, in like the UTEP Jacksonville State and the FIU Louisiana Tech. Low scoring offenses trying to feel it out. I think it's gonna be low scoring.
All right, guys, thanks so. Yeah, I guess I should have thought of my final score before I did my bold prediction.
Send
but
out
hey,
mugs.
That
We need
is
mugs out.
how.
I'm gonna
the
send out
door.
some mugs. There's
Yeah,
mugs going
some-
out.
some
If you
mugs
got
going
a
out.
question, there's a good chance you're getting a mug.
That was some great stuff, guys. Thanks so much for actually showing up this week, Joe. Football's back,
Let's
guys.
go.
I am
Oh,
just so pumped.
Quickly,
No
podcast Monday, Labor Day, right? So we're gonna shoot for a Tuesday podcast, and then as we stated earlier, I think in October we're hoping to go the day after those midweek games.
Oh, let's
Right after.
if we can fit into Joe's schedule,
Let's do it.
instead
do
of
it.
wait until the
Wednesdays or
next
Fridays.
week.
Ooh,
Yeah.
there is going to be one Friday. We'll
Yeah,
have to look
well,
into that.
and we'll get Em on the Zoom.
Yeah.
She can
No
Zoom from home. Yeah, from the lake. Yeah.
No. All right, thanks so much
yeah.
for
It's
listening or
football
watching.
season,
Let's go.
baby.
It's football season. Be sure you get out to Williams Stadium to
Do it.
support the Flames and Jamey Chadwell and this staff.
Look
You
for
know,
us
it's
while we're out
going-
there.
Yeah.
Joe's going to be pregame show.
Pregame
Last
show.
thing.
Oh my gosh, we
Last
are off the
thing. I
rails.
know it's a long podcast. New pregame show this year. It's streaming on the Liberty Flames Twitter, X, Facebook, and YouTube channels 1 hour prior to kick. Joe Yock is going to be featured on the desk
Unbelievable.
this week, so you're going to want to see that.
Unbelievable.
It's going to be amazing. So tune in, and if you're in the stadium early, come on out. You can say hi to Joe.
The set for the pregame show and the postgame show
The
is
main
in the
concourse. Yeah.
southeast corner.
Emily couldn't add 3 touchdowns, so I'm a little concerned with the direction.
Trust me, southeast corner of the stadium. Come by the set and say hello to the guys, and be sure you tune in. It's going to be great. They have some exclusive content, like how we want to talk to coaches and players right before. Joe or Doug just went down behind the cameras. He needs to go sit down.
end this.
Come by the Flame Central
It's a
pregame
Flame Central
show.
podcast
Powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Bang.